Think about the last time you voted. You probably stood in line, got your ballot, and marked off your choices. Simple, right? But what you just participated in is one of the most unique democratic experiments in Asia. The Philippine political system isn't just about choosing a president or local officials. It's a complex web of family dynasties, party switching, and a revolutionary attempt to give voice to the voiceless. To understand why Filipino politics looks the way it does today, we need to go back to 1907, when the Philippines was still under American rule. That's when something happened that would shape Philippine democracy for the next century.
Tayo ay magsama-sama sa Partido Nasyonalista. Ang pag-asa ng ating bansa sa ating ding magmumula.
The story of Philippine political party starts with the Nacionalista Party. But here's the thing, it wasn't just a political party, it was a movement born from the ashes of the Philippine Revolution against Spain. Its founders had a radical idea, that Filipinos should govern themselves.
Skies of Manila and the Philippines, Manuel Louis Quezon is inaugurated as the first president of the newly
Manuel L. Quezon, one of its early leaders, would later become the Commonwealth's president. But what's fascinating is how the party system evolved. Unlike in the United States, where Democrats and Republicans have clear ideological differences, Philippine political parties developed differently.
It come for you to lay down the heavy burden and responsibility of leadership in the free world, or for that matter.
But why do Filipino politicians switch parties so often? In the Philippines, party switching or political turncoatism has become a norm. Dr. Ronald Mendoza from the Ateneo School of Government calls it a perversion of democracy, fueled by personality-driven politics and political patronage. Instead of parties representing clear ideologies or platforms, they've become vehicles for convenience and power. For example, during the 2016 presidential campaign, former Vice President Jejomar Binay left PDP Laban, his longtime party, to form the United Nationalist Alliance. This isn't an isolated case. Over the years, factions have broken away to form new parties, diluting the very ideological foundation of Philippine politics. In the 18th Congress, 2019 to 2022, 20% of districts were represented by officials related to politicians in other districts. Over time, the increasing number of political dynasties in the Philippines has led to a system where a majority of government positions are controlled by these powerful families. From 1995 to 2007, an average of 31.3% of congressmen and 23.1% of governors were succeeded by their relatives. In fact, by 2013, a staggering 74% of legislators in the Philippines were part of political dynasties. In some regions, the same families have wielded power since the American colonial era. But why did dynasties thrive in a democratic system? To understand the mechanics of Philippine political power, we need to look beyond simple family inheritance. This is about influence, a complex web more reminiscent of feudal power structures than a modern democracy. Think of it like this. Becoming a politician isn't about popular support. It's about transactional power. Imagine a complex chess game where every move requires a strategic exchange. A politician doesn't rise by public acclaim. They rise by making deals. Support me, the politician says, and I'll ensure laws bend in your favor. Infrastructure contracts, favorable regulations, consider them done. These powerful supporters aren't just passive benefactors, they're active architects of political survival. A businessman wants guaranteed government contracts. A military leader wants assured promotions and budget allocations. A local leader wants infrastructure that benefits their region. But here's the critical mechanism. These supporters demand continuity. An heir isn't just a family tradition, it's a security contract. Without an heir, the entire network becomes unstable. If the politician dies without a clear successor, all those carefully constructed deals, those invisible strings of power, suddenly become uncertain. This mirrors historical power dynamics far more complex than simple nepotism. Supporters invest in a family, not just an individual. They want to know that when one politician exits, another will honor the same unspoken agreements. A military general wants to ensure their promotions continue. A businessman wants infrastructure contracts to keep flowing. A local leader wants the region's interests protected. An heir represents that continuity. This isn't corruption as a bug, it's corruption as a feature. The system is designed so that power isn't earned through merit, but through an elaborate dance of transactional relationships. An heir doesn't just inherit a political seat, they inherit a network. They inherit promises. They inherit the ability to continue that delicate balance of exchanges that keep the entire system running. The tragedy? In this system, the public becomes a mere audience. Democracy transforms into a performance where the real negotiations happen behind closed doors, and an heir is the ultimate insurance policy for continued influence. The practice of party switching, locally known as balimbing, is not just a personal strategy for politicians, it's a family tactic. Politicians shift allegiances not to serve their constituents better, but to preserve or expand their family's power. In effect, the democratic Philippines has transformed into a modern monarchy where power is concentrated within a few families, passed down for generations rather than won purely by merit or public trust. It's not about the party. They'll jump ship if it benefits their family's continued dominance. The Philippines stands at a crossroads. While its political landscape may be riddled with challenges, dynasties, party switching, and personality-driven politics, it's also filled with immense potential. Reforms alone won't fix the system. Real change begins with the Filipino people, voters who demand accountability, leaders who serve with integrity, and the collective effort to prioritize platforms over personalities.